Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. When it comes to success, our next guest says women are often praised for their ambition until it upsets the status quo. She is out to change that with her new best-selling book, The Ambition Trap. We welcome executive coach Amina AlTai. It's so nice to see you.
So nice to be here with you. Thank you so much for having me.
We're going to break down some tough stuff today. Let's talk about this trap we fall into between maybe being too much or not enough, and that can create such inner turmoil.
It absolutely can. So I wrote this book because as an executive coach and someone who's highly ambitious myself, I saw this double bind alive in so many people. We're told to take up space, to throw our hats in the ring. And then when we do, we're often penalized for it. And so how do we find our way and how do we reclaim this word ambition?
So tell me about the ambition penalty. I think a lot of people can relate to this concept when you start kind of breaking down what it looks like.
Yes. So women and men enter the workforce with more or less the same levels of ambition. Men are celebrated for theirs, women it's seen as a detractor. Ambitious women that negotiate their salary are often seen as aggressive or too much. And then women of color are actually the most ambitious cohort in corporate America, and they experience the most headwinds around that ambition.
So how do we conquer all of that? I mean, it just seems kind of a no-win situation sometimes.
Yes. So in the book, I talk about how there's two types of ambition. There's painful ambition that's driven by our core wounds, and then there's purposeful ambition that is connected to our purpose. And so the invitation in the book is to really understand where in our own lives, our own mindsets getting in the way, where we're coming from that place of pain and chasing the achievements and the wins to kind of feel better about ourselves. So there's that piece that we can really own and look at. And then also we're operating in a system that needs to shift too. But when we shift, so does everything around us.
Okay, so we've got to start within. You got to start somewhere, right? Well, and I can't
Exactly. It
believe,
always starts with us.
yes, I can't believe it's been really a decade since we had this big lean in conversation and what a movement that was. How have things changed? How has our ideas changed since then?
Yes. I mean, I'm an elder millennial. I came of age in the girl boss era where we were told to lean in and do all of the things. And what I'm seeing now is that many of us want a much more sustainable relationship with ambition. We're seeing that more for more's sake all the time, whether it's more money, more power, more awards. It's costing us our health, our relationships, and ultimately upholding oppressive systems. So we're looking for a lot more harmony with our ambition. And that's what I lay out in the book is how we can cultivate that. We can still be ambitious and we can do it in a way that's really kind to ourselves and others around us.
There you go. Okay, what about toxic clickiness? I think a lot of women have experienced this at work in different ways.
Yes, unfortunately, a lot of us are coming from a place of scarcity, right? Because we're told there's space for only one woman or one person of color or one queer person. But what I invite people to do in the book is really own their zone of genius because each and every one of us has one. And when we own that zone of genius, there's no competition because nobody will do the thing the way that you do it, right? So that's how we stand out. And when all of us come together with our own unique zones of genius, that's where the game changes. So we don't need to fight people out because nobody's going to make the contribution that you're going to make or do the thing in the way that you're going to do it.
That's so true. And then when you have a whole team of people doing their best at what they're best at, I mean, you could conquer the world that way.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
I'm with you. Okay, burnout disguised as ambition. I mean, like you were talking about that girl boss era, we've got to relax a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. So burnout disguises ambition. I think a lot of the times when we talk about burnout, we position it as like an individual problem and moral failing, right? Like if I just had better productivity hacks or if I had that one more adaptogenic beverage, I'd be okay. But I think, of course, there's our own mindset and the choices that we make. I have been guilty of overworking for sure. And then that sometimes tips us into burnout. But we also have to recognize that it's a bit of an economic problem too, right? So many people, like the gender wage gap is a perfect example of this. Women will have to work harder to close that gap and have to work longer hours to make the same amount of money. So yes, of course, there's stuff we can do on our side of the street to kind of pull back on the overworking, but we have to acknowledge that it's a systemic and economic problem as well.
Okay, I feel better already. You've given us a great place to start. All great advice. It was so nice to see you again.
Lovely to see you too. Thank you so much for having me
Of
back.
course. Amina's book again is The Ambition Trap, and we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.